Hi, thank you, Farzan, Mick, Tris, and our special guest, Robbie. Oh, Ralph, hello. It's great to have everyone here for our, I think, fifth board review.
It is.
It's amazing to have such great response after opening up registrations just only 3 days ago. Registration, I think, started on the, Saturday. And I think we have some great numbers to report back, which Garrett will, I think, be soon joining us and jump into. But I want to hand over to Tris, and you could first start by, putting into your institutional languaging what you believe Stabledao is here to achieve.
Yeah, I think having now spoken to institutions all week and had a great response from many of them, we are really truly creating C-DeFi, centralized, decentralized finance here. And what that means for the people at the very bottom, at the ground, is, and this is, we're talking about ground up here, is a universal basic income, something that everybody has been talking about for many years. In fact, I think we were talking about this in 1850, from what I remember, reading texts from that period. What we're talking about is the ability to eliminate poverty, and that's a very serious subject. And I really believe that Stabledao is in a position to do that now. And I think from what I've seen from institutions that we've spoken to, they're also beginning to believe this. Institutions have become, in the last 20 years, extremely sensitive to investing in a positive way. They're very concerned about the impact their investing has on the community and the world itself. This is more than 50% of the investment world is taking this into consideration. And eventually, I think it's going to be affecting every investor. Because we see environmental issues, we see global poverty, we see many things that we know that there's the wealth and there's the wisdom to solve. And I really believe that Stabledao is on a very firm track now to help to alleviate these great issues.
Great, thank you. And I just want to add that this is a combined effort. It doesn't just involve Stabledao, but many of the government and intergovernment organizations in the ecosystem. It is all about creating a friendly, positive competition for the capital of this ecosystem, because we recognize capital flows to those who are most efficient in deploying it. And what Stabledao is wanting to deliver as a world first is the ability for DeFi capital to flow into the traditional financial ecosystem. Yes, we've seen DeFi being deployed and invested into metaverse and the various tokens that are building open source technologies that are driving the decentralized ecosystem forward. But what we also need to recognize is Web3 plus Web 2 and Web 1 all need to sit in a data center in the physical world. So C-DeFi, I believe, is the next wave of value creation, and the best way we deliver that is through this ability for DeFi ecosystem value to be deployed in a traditional financial market. I'd like to hand over to our good chairman Farzan to elaborate a little bit more.
Greetings, greetings. I think as an introduction, I want to say 2 years ago at the first Malta Blockchain Summit, and later also in the first WOW Summit, the first opening remark, my theme, the title was The Theology of the Phenomena of Global Digital Economy. And I chose this word very carefully. First, economy has become global. The global economy has become digital. The digitalization of the global economy is a phenomena, and there is underlying understandings that I call it the theology, the basis, the foundation, the inner operative reasons. So there is one graph there, and if we understand that graph, we will understand why we created this bridging or hybrid or a mixed proposal. Because all value, traditionally over thousands of years up to the Industrial Revolution, has been on the ground. So ground-based, what we call classic assets. It starts with the earth itself, and of course we go under the earth, that is mining. So then we go under the earth is oil and gas and energy. We go above the earth is agriculture. Then there's building, and then there becomes infrastructure. Then factories, and then equipment. All of those are classic assets with tangibles, and they have existed. So the future of economy never leaves away from the tangibles. It only builds on top of it. The analogy of having a ocean water, and now you have waves, and then you have mega waves. And then you can have waves above that are even taller, but you cannot go away from the ocean waves. You cannot have a digital economy and value multiplier if underlying asset is not there. At least you can say it is not sustainable and it is not real, and then it will drop. That's what was the first generation of blockchain and crypto. The next generation will be built on this, that the horizontal, that means the assets, underlying assets will come first, and the multiplier effect will be on top of that. Okay, in the world history, we went through stages. We have to understand the phenomena, and I'm the only one who analyzed it this way. Upon classic assets became what we call stock market. What happened was the same classic asset shares that are annual growth of 5%, 8%, 10, 30%. Now they are floated part of the ownership, not all, part of it. They become more liquid, larger numbers can participate and they can trade, therefore make it alive. And this virility will be like a vibration, like giving heat. And you know how you see how solid becomes liquid and liquid becomes gas? This is what has happened. You should understand the theology of how the economy has worked. So by floating it in the stock market, several things have happened. One, the asset shares and ownership are become diversified. It opened for the moms and pops and the students. So it is actually wealth distribution mechanism, how America became mid-class and wealth, and then Europe, and then Japan, and then all over. So it is very important element. But at the same time, the multiplier effect, the asset valuation annually may be 2x, 5x, 7x. This is the stock market function. Then on top of stock market came the internet era. Each stage, there is a new phenomena that makes the exchange and the value of the assets still underlying is the classic assets. On top of that, the vibration is more, therefore much faster information and much faster trading, so that it makes the stock market share valuation multiplier become sometimes 20x, 30x. In case of Amazon and others, will become even 200x. So you will see the multiplier effect goes up, the liquidity becomes more, and then still under it is the classic assets. Then comes internet, beyond that blockchain, and now the mature blockchain era of the crypto. That's why we want to create a hybrid, bridging between the classic asset value and the monies that are raised by digital, both direction. When we say mega capital migration, that I invented the terms for, is actually bi-directional. So they compound on each other. The classic asset gives the reason for faster and faster trade and more participation by you, our audience, and your communities. And then that will go back to the classic, and the classic valuation goes up and it goes back to the digital. So it is this healthy vibration that I invented the name and an image for it. If you only go crypto, you go up vertical, just like what we call like crowd financing, and then you fall. No, 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 we don't want that. And if you only go horizontal, the assets, there's no liquidity, there is no growth. If Oman government only chooses only for the efficiency blockchain, but no coin, no benchmark valuation, big deal, no value. If all the youth go and give a promise of a white paper and they don't deliver and raise big monies and then lose, then the whole community, I mean, is the concept of music chairs, and some people will become deprived and lose. We don't want that. We want the healthy way, that horizontal and vertical, and then more horizontal, wider, and vertical. So it's a spiral way up. And only it happens through an equation where the classic assets are used to create the real benchmark value, floated like a magnetic field so that the benchmark value goes up, and money of the benchmark is taken not to the pocket of those who raised the funds, but to the project, so that the white paper promise is delivered. In fact, if they have the patience to do that, the value goes up again. So nobody lost. Even those who were fast money crowd financing, they are not losing. They are getting higher and higher and more and wider, and the classic asset is not losing. It's revealing its value, and all the participants are not losing. We have not learned in humanity the maturity of win, 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 win. All parties should win. If we learned it, we will do it in a perfect way, that nobody is robbing anyone of money, because we create abundance economy, always based on classic assets, then to the digital, and back and forth. So this story is exactly the spirit and the soul of DeFi, CDFI, Stabledao. Okay, now what it means, please. Yeah.
Sorry, Doctor. We will come back to you. But I just wanted to introduce Sir Robbie Welsh, MBE, who is working on our Langkawi project in Malaysia, because he has a message, and his time is a little short at the moment. So maybe we could cut to him, and I'm introducing him, and then we'll come back to you in a few minutes' time. Is that
no worry? Sure. I will have a conclusion, and that's done anyway, but not now.
Wonderful. Thank you, Robbie. Hello. Here he is.
Hi.
Perfect.
Hi. Can you hear me?
We can hear you perfectly.
Okay, lovely. Sorry, Dr. Kamala Badi. I've got another engagement coming up. Hi, everybody. My name is Sir Robert Terence Welsh. I'm currently working on the Langkawi project. What can I say? It's a very interesting project at the moment. It's about, since the pandemic, Langkawi is not really recovered as such. It's still got about 3 million visitors last month. But what we're planning on doing is we're planning on introducing an educational hub into Langkawi. We've been during the summer, we've tied it in with the government. We've got government approval. But before that, we also have 2 smaller projects before we take on the 34 acres to build the sustainable education city, which is called the Core Towers, which is twin towers, apartments and pavilion, where we've got tenants ready to move in. And the other one is, we called it 5 on the Hill. It's 5 acres, right in, it's called Pantai Kok. It's right next to a marina that houses luxury yachts, etc. And that's also available at the moment. And we've been working on it, pursuing it at the moment. And I'm not sure how much Tris has, explained about the project, but we've secured 2 plots of land without the government help yet, which we intend on purchasing and building and selling that, so we can get the ROI and the IRR back to the investors as quick as possible. And then everything else on top of that, there's rentals, etc. That's going to be continuous. And at the moment now, we have an agreement, a verbal agreement with the landowners to sell, and in which they will do the levy, change the status, and ready for us to build. It'd be, I'm listening to what you guys are actually building with the digital, and it's amazing. I think this is definitely something, it's all new to me. I've not really delved into the digital side of the financing yet, but now listening to yourself, Sam, and listening to Dr. Kamal Abedi, I'm really interested. I'm really interested in looking more into it, and hopefully also there's the right-hand man of the newly elected president of Kenya. He's coming back to Dubai in a few more days, and I've already mentioned that about Stabledao and potentially working together, investing in Kenya, and he's very interested in meeting up and having a discussion with you guys from Stabledao. So these are what I've been working on at the moment, and hopefully we'll be able to work together or in some way or form to get the projects up and running and change the landscape of Langkawi.
Yes, that's wonderful. So Robbie, just another question.
Yeah.
Where is Langkawi, and what's the weather like down there?
Okay, Langkawi is in Malaysia. It's on the west coast, so it's on the Malacca Straits. So it's protected by parts of Indonesia, and it's about 30 kilometers from Koh Taraw, which is part of Thailand. So it's north of Malaysia. It's beautiful, beautiful island. It's got its own airport. There's a lot that can be built there. It's the only tax-free island in Malaysia, in the region actually. So which is, again, it's great, if for business. Anything tax-free is good, and that's one of the beauties. And the weather there, I think it's between 27 to 32 max. That's the degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So it's a lovely place, and the food's amazing as well.
So not only is it a special carve out to drive a lot of business growth through these very beneficial tax policies, but it's also benefiting from the boon of urbanization and infrastructure that is being built, because we are, of course, in a high growth, high population density region, which means real estate, can only be squeezed upwards.
Yeah.
And how did you fall into that project?
Well, previously, before I went into working, I work for the Ministry of Education in Dubai at the moment. And before that, I was a business consultant. So I've built schools, I've built medical centers, I've built malls, etc. And now, after working for the ministry here in the UAE for 10 years, it's I was offered a position in NEOM to build and oversee a 5-school project. And after discussing with the owner, because he's a previous client of mine, he was telling me he's making on average about 20 million dirhams per school, and I opened 3 schools for him. So he's making that kind of money, and I thought, well, maybe I should do it for myself, because all the projects that I've worked on in the past, they're all they've all been very successful and lucrative. So it's something that I thought I can go into the building of it, the running, management, and then bringing in a team to sustain it, and it could be something where I've got more hands-on, and I'm more involved in the running, even on a daily basis. So it's just something that when I mentioned I went to Langkawi, it's a beautiful place. I've always dreamt of retiring there. Speaking to Tris about it, Tris has been to Malaysia, Tris has his ties, and I thought, well, Langkawi's it's the jewel of the Orient. It's amazing. We dragged Ralph there as well. So Ralph's been to Langkawi. He's seen what's on offer. So hopefully this is something, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful island. And it's not really recovered as such from before the pandemic, because there was a lot of projects that were started before the pandemic. And then during the pandemic, they've run out of funds, or they've cancelled the projects, and the projects have all been left, which is, again, something that we could pick up really quickly on, because for some of the projects, the permissions, etc., is already in place.
Absolutely, and what we find is in the last 3 to 5 years, there's already been the appreciation in the real estate value because of the high inflation that has been hit. So there has been really significant upside in the valuation of these properties, but the credit market has been squeezed for these kind of deals because of just where the financial market is at the current moment being. And that it is all unfair because US has played its cards to make the US dollar so much stronger. And that just means credit is squeezed everywhere else, even though there is the population growth and demand. Not only that, education, I think, is a growing segment, especially in these markets, because of the relatively young population, and for them to attend, a Western branded and staffed with of course the best in breed teachers in these kind of sister colleges in these Asian regions, I think commands a significant premium. As you mentioned, the Sheikh has successfully benefited significantly by tapping into your expertise to launch free schools here in UAE, and with those kind of margins, my hat's off to you for wanting to capitalize on this opportunity, in obviously a much more populated market. So Langkawi has, as I hear, 3 million visitors a month, a year, is not something to scoff at, because it means it's a very popular destination. And, I think having that kind of infrastructure there for not only visitors, but for people who permanently call Langkawi home is something that will generate great outcomes. So here at Stabledao, we're looking forward to funding these kind of opportunities and structuring them in a way so that our investors gain access to not only high upside, but low risk and high liquidity as well.
Yeah.
So I think back over to you, Tris.
Yes.
To close.
What I could say about Langkawi is my first trip there was in 1976, so I have a very long love affair with that part of the world. I was fortunate enough to be taken there by a school friend of mine. And I fell in love with it the first time I went there. And it's become more amazing since then as the infrastructure has grown. The beauty of the place has been preserved. And I'm very excited to get involved with Sir Robbie and his team, who are excellent. We're dealing with many capable ladies generally in Malaysia, and they're very, very amazing, and they're doing a fantastic job. And maybe I could just quickly go over to Ralph, because Ralph also has seen Langkawi, and maybe you could finish off on the subject for us, Ralph.
Sure. Thank you, Tris. Hi, Robbie. You're looking great. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
You're looking nicer than me, actually. We got to talk about that. Okay. I can witness that. I've been to Langkawi for the first time, like 5 or 6 weeks ago, together with Tris. It's not just a beautiful island; it's a gem within this region. I would say, with my own words, it's a little bit like Koh Samui has been like 20 years ago or so. There's lots of opportunities. It's like paradise. It's a blessed place. It's very beautiful, great coastline, and people are hungry. Not in the words sense, but they are hungry for success, for improving themselves, and they are ready to do hard work for improving themselves, improving the country. They're very proud of their country and their region, which counts with everything you do there. I've seen a couple of places with the land development projects, and all these projects are quite, I would say, decent, reasonable. How would you tell it? They are not gigantic in a way. They are all well planned, and you can you can see the progress, and you can see what they have in mind. And it's not only industry or stuff like that. It's education. It's schooling, university buildings. I have even seen one site where they are planning to do some educational, how would you call that, agricultural education and stuff. So it's or small hotels and stuff. So it's all mixed. It's various, and it's very well planned, and it's completely backed from the local government, which counts a lot. So I can easily witness all that Tris and Robbie just said. I've seen it myself. And yeah, well, so what's the point of view here from Europe? I'm business traveling for all the week now. I'm in Frankfurt, and I had some very interesting conversations with bank management and the head of investment strategy of an investment consulting firm that is doing a great job for like nearly half of all the family office we have in Germany. And all of them, both of them, are telling me they are pushed and chased by their retail private clients as well as institutional clients for getting better performance, for getting better interest rates on their investment, because inflation in Germany has just hit 10% and it's still climbing. Experts, economists, experts expect a peak, like in the beginning of next year, a peak of 13 or 14%. That's totally new in Western We It's totally new in Germany. It's a totally new situation, and any classical assets that we had and we are used to for decades on the retail sector as well and the institutional investor sector has to be questioned, because it wouldn't at all beat the inflation, because we have now an basic interest rate of like around 3% or 2.8% or so. So there's a huge gap, and everyone in Western Europe is asking loudly for giving ways and instruments and tools for creating more performance. So this is our market here in Germany. So I think we are positioned very well right now. This is a time.
That's brilliant, Ralph, and here we are able to fill that gap. That's brilliant. So maybe we can go back to Dr. Kamal Abadi, and you can summarize this.
First, on the back of what just Ralph said, sometimes a new entity, a new design, a new team, all of a sudden win big time, mega big time. And it's not by chance, it is by design. And we don't want to be the only ones that win. We want our entire ecosystem win. I believe that our Stabledao, by design, is set such that tons of capital will come to us. And on the other hand, tons of good projects will come to us. And we become a very natural conduit, because, water sits low. So what we have designed is a modeling, and a modeling that is in line with the better form of economy of the world. So you will see tons of classic monies and others will come join us as an information, because I was building the story for a conclusion. The conclusion is that being the common denominator of many forms of economies, then everybody comes to you. And that was my main point. For example, today, we got the news from Enegra, my good friend, David Vincent. I mean, he is the chairman of a $65 billion company. If you can check Anegra, the bridge financing of the mining, also in Southeast Asia, to the market that went first half a year ago on Dow. The entire ownership is now on Dow, but it is on a digitalized crypto, on exchange. We are non-exchange. We are non-crypto. We are the Dow directly. It is liquid. But the point is this, that the entire ownership of all the shareholders and all the other public shareholders are all on the exchange. It started, their asset valuation was $33 billion. It went over $70 billion. It slowed down a little bit to over $60 billion. But he wrote a proposal to us. We want to do some strategic partnership with Stabledao. Why? Because they will get the upside from us and we will get upside from them. Even Triz, you can describe what he wrote about how he calculated very well, and we will welcome that. This is very good, even though we haven't struck a relationship or a deep partnership yet. But that shows the type of players in the market who will look at our mechanism very well, and they can create synergies that have, again, compound return to the investors. So that is one. Two, we already sent the information to tons of people in Saudi and all the GCC and others. So quite a few interest is already created. While Sam started the traction from the faster moving and more liquid crypto community and the digital community, yet I'm saying that the classical have already also given a very positive response that they will come in with larger tickets. So this hybrid system is working already. So, and you saw this, that for the sake of clarity to the investors, we are focusing on only one project first, the aerospace city. Now adding one other in the tangent area, Langkawi. But you will be surprised that once all of this settles, tons of projects all over the world, only even in that one concept of agricultural land turning industrial. Or today we had a Saudi princess, I don't mention the name yet, who also is developing a smart city, smart building, and then said, oh, can we offer the land in Saudi and turn it into the agricultural, into industrial, or into smart city? And then we put our monies and you put your monies from the Stabledao. We have gotten tons of offers already. I don't want yet, because we are only 3 days into opening the registration. So, but I only want to say, not only we have gotten a large number of registrations already in the digital sense, that we are getting a lot of letters of intent, or you can say expressions of intent, whether oral or written in the WhatsApp messages. So I only I can assume how large this initiative will be for everyone involved in the ecosystem. I'm a bit enthusiastic because it was what Sam started, and Triz's project and our partnership started, and my strategy formulation started, is going to go beyond the expectation of all of us and whoever is involved. But it is not by random or chance, it is by design.
Absolutely. Thank you for the words of confidence and patronage to what has been started by the introductions, of course, through your program and your initiative at Future Trends as well. And yes, we are gathering significant momentum. I would like to ask Garrett to give us some visibility of that momentum that has been building.
One sentence I say, Sam, with your permission, one sentence, sorry, because it's very important, that ties it over well. Remember, this is like an open fund that is going to multiply. So the two ends are open. The fund, although we will close a subscription period, but the first movers for sure will get the long stick. But the point is that it is going to be continuous, because the story is just started. It's very important for people to know that this is, as I say, fast moving train, one after the other, that will come, each one bigger than the other. And the early movers will be the larger beneficiaries. It was very important to draw that is an open fund, like capital on call, projects on call. So this is a new formation, a new invention. We use the classic fund name of Capital on Call to say that this is an open fund that continuously it goes into another fund, another fund, another fund, and another project, another project. It's the two sides, and the center is not a very narrow smart processing center. It is a wide superhighway. So I wanted to give the image. Please, we can transfer.
Absolutely. So Garrett, tell us some good news.
Yes, I've got actually a really big update. It's a small update, but very, very exciting news. Basically, we've hit over 50,000 registrations over the last 72 hours, which is over $5 million in rewards, which is not a small number to scuff at, as you said earlier. We've got a huge amount of free money, basically, and you guys are all a part of it. We've also had over 15,000 KYCs rolling in over the last 72 hours, and we expect these to exponentially grow until the 29th when the EPP program has finally come to an end. It's pretty amazing to see how many people have been sharing and forwarding all of our links and all of our updates in the Telegram channel, which I think is over 20,000 people following as well, when it was at 900 people a few days ago. I've never really seen a Telegram group explode that fast and so strong, and we're getting a lot of good reactions on every post as well. I do want to remind everybody, though, that you need to do a KYC in order to qualify for the $100 credit on the Stabledao platform. If you do not do your KYC, you get no free money. So we need you to do your KYCs. I'd love to see all your beautiful faces. I've been going through a bunch of the KYCs ourselves just because we've had such an exponential increase and overwhelming desire from you guys to register in KYC on the platform. So we just want to thank you all for doing that, and encourage you to get your friends and family and your colleagues and anybody you know to come and get some free money and be part of this amazing, I guess, revolution in decentralized finance, and basically be a part of an amazing platform. I also have another exciting update, and hopefully I'm allowed to tell. We've actually decided to create our own video sharing app that's similar to TikTok, and introduce what we've coined as DAO Nows. And these are basically going to be very short but sweet videos, basically from the team, and then you beautiful people that want to be a part of them as well. We're having a really cool app design, which should be done in the next few weeks, and it'll give you guys an opportunity to share and promote the Stabledao platform in your own creative way. So I'm excited. I'm going to be doing a few a day and showing everybody what we're doing out here, and just show that we're excited and that you should be too. So Sam, back to you. That's pretty much my update for tonight, and I'm glad that you guys are loving what we're doing so far.
Great. So we'll definitely find more of this amazing announcement come out over the coming weeks. We look forward to seeing this great progress continue. So thank you everyone for being a part of the initial the registrations, but of course it's a team effort. We can only grow with your support. So I think it'll be great if we could also talk on some of these structured financing products that we've been able to investigate. As Tris and Nick and Ralph are real experts in this space. I want to hand back over to Tris to explain how you see all this. All these different layers of capital with different kind of appetites and exposures will all come together.
Yes, well, the key is diversity. So as you already noticed, we're now talking about Kenya, we're talking about other parts of the world, but there's one common theme with all the investments we're looking at, and that is that it's on the ground. It makes a big impact to all the people on the ground in each jurisdiction, and that we're working with people who are connected, closely with the government so that we can work in a way that we know that planning permission is going to be assured, and that we know that we're in a position where we have everything that's invested fully secured. And on that point, I'd like Nick to maybe close out and give us a little bit of information on how we're securing the whole projects and building the financial side. Nick, are you there? I think we might have lost him in London. He's been with us this week, but maybe he's jet lagged. I would be.
Maybe he's on mute. Let's check.
Oh, he's on mute. Okay. Anyway, well, just to explain a little bit more on that point. Well, we're looking at, of course, the Citibank guarantee, and we're looking at the way that we enter it and how we maximize the returns to everybody within the financial. I would like to use the word engineering, but it's actually even more complicated than most forms of engineering because it involves relationships and ratings. And Nick is a past master on this, so he's been counseling us for the last week on exactly how this works. But the point I think you need to understand from the bottom of the investment world here is that we're talking about an A+ rating, which is a very serious rating. So I think you can rest assured that we have this well under control, and we're going to control the risk for everybody so that, as Sam explained, we have a high returning, low risk investment for everybody.
When we talk about security or guarantee, remember, we have all the, what you call it, ranges from hard guarantees to soft guarantees. The fact that the project government to government first is the bedrock of the project. And then the fact that there is a public listed company. And then the fact that the land to permit to industrial from agricultural is already papers issued around that this will happen. So, and also the fact that this is our team, the most trustworthy group of people. So I think there are so many layers of credit or trust that we can call it as soft guarantees. And above all, the most important guarantee is the modeling. What it is designed such that there is no need or room for foul play. It is raising money from the known group of communities into a high quality project, hybriding with other forms of investments, and those investments now proposing to us to do swap of shares, swap of investment community. So it is the web that is being built in is the assurance, more so than even a paper from a bank. You need it when there is no trust. Once this happens, the trust created in the simple, we become the source of giving assurance. Believe it, in the future, Stabledao will issue papers of guarantees very soon because of your trust and your participation. These are important elements. They are not your traditional classic forms of looking at things, but these are the realities of the universe of finance and business and community that we have not combined together before. So this is really a new modeling. Just wanted to give that vote of confidence that we are building something. You know, if you are the pyramid, you know, it's stable more. If you are the reverse, you are on a very small foot and a big head, you fall. So this is the law of the universe, that what we are developing is going to be very solid soon into the finance world. We are leading not only into just the business and the money making, but the whole model of a more healthy form of finance.
Absolutely. So on that, I think you know, we're also introducing Zooms in many other languages. I think what would be really interesting is if me and Farzam independently do a Chinese Zoom.
That would be amazing.
We haven't even opened up to the Chinese community. where I have minimum in my WeChats only 10 million people direct, and that is in the groups, and then if we go indirect, we'll reach to 100 million. We haven't even utilized them yet because we are. So anyway, you are correct. We will do in multi languages in the future.
Absolutely, and I think Tris is fluent in Japanese.
I'm fluent in Japanese, and I would love Ralph to do obviously German for us because I think he's fluent in German, as far as I know. And when he's away,
and we have Mr. Ali Makki who's joining us, and he will be in the Arabic.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I know he's jet lagged and sleeping right now, but Nick is also very good at Spanish, so I'd love to see him do this in Spanish. That's putting him on the spot, by the way. Garrett's fluent in West Coast American too, so that's
surf lingo, right? Since we all surf in California.
And so Robbie, of course, is fluent in Malay, Bahasa Melayu. So that's another language that we can add.
Absolutely. So the network is definitely growing. The network effect is there. The model incentivizes people to be a part of this. And of course, we have a very strong and important message to share with a broader community. So we're really appreciative for such great numbers. These are numbers that are in excess of our expectation. And I believe it's going to be very strong as we move into 29th. As I think Garrett mentioned, KYC must be done by the 29th in order for rewards to be issued. But if you have applied for KYC, but yet to receive your reward, that's because your KYC is under review. We have got people checking everyone's KYC, on a 24-hour shift basis. Wow. However, the feedback has been, beyond our expectations. So we do feel that KYCs are coming slower, and crediting your accounts have been slower than what we would have liked. But it is what it is. It's a good problem to have, as we say. So thank you everyone for being a part of our Tuesday boardroom Zoom, and the next one is 7 p.m. Dubai time on Saturday. We will be 7 full days into the early participation program, which is 50% of the entire 2 weeks we allocated to this. And we will have some, I think Ali is coming on Saturday to the next Zoom, and some really exciting momentum happening every single week here. So we look forward to sharing with that to everyone on Saturday. So thank you again, and see you in 4 days' time.
Great. Good night.